All right, let's briefly talk about your business nervous system and how this relates to funnels. So, your business has a nervous system. You can think about how people in the industry that learn how to sell one thing really well for a really long time, meaning they've forced themselves out of this identity boredom trap where they have to keep reinventing themselves over and over, which actually triggers the nervous system. It puts you under full system assault. When you do that, you never get to stabilize, you never get to ground. So they have built up this peace and safety and repeatability in their business over long periods of time so that when it's time for them to scale, they have all of that foundational energy that they bring to their business. The dedication, the commitment, like all the core foundational pieces of what is required. And then that's how they scale and blast off. That's how they build momentum. It's the same as your body, it's the same as your ability to hold money. It's that there is like a central system that connects and regulates and communicates across all parts of your business, just as they communicate through you. When all the pieces of your business are working, offers, marketing, back end, your energy, when they're all working in isolation, separately, not connected, it creates chaos. You end up overworking, you're constantly second guessing yourself, and you build in loops. The problem with that is that all of your magical, really good ideas can't take root without a structure, and you can't evolve and grow with them. When your business nervous system is out of sync, that's when you burn out. That's when you experience fatigue. That's when you feel like you're having the worst time ever in your business. You're constantly shifting identities. You feel like you want to burn it down. Your magic and expansion in business is not felt or experienced or seen by you through you, but that's actually why you wanted to start this business. That's why you decided to not do things the way that you were doing them before. It's not what we want. So, the before and after of that, how to diagnose yourself when you're in that vibe. How do you know when this is happening to you? It's when every time you have a new offer, it feels like a new start. When you are marketing and not building momentum, when you are avoiding your back end or constantly rebuilding, when you know that you're the bottleneck, but you don't know what to change, or when you consistently feel like you need to reposition or rebrand instead of refine. This is how we're doing our own check in. If you want to just check in with yourself and you are experiencing these things, this is how you know, okay, no, I just need to regulate. It's an invitation to regulate. The aligned version of that is that you have one offer that reflects your full depth. Even if you have a lot of content within that offer, a lot of skills within that offer, you have a key offer and you build around that. You have a clear pathway from free content to paid. You have messaging that speaks to the client that you're meant to serve. And you know what that is because you've built through this system. You've reverse engineered, and over your repetition and commitment, it becomes super solid, crystal clear. It sounds like you feel fully expressed in it, and your commitment to that keeps building confidence and potency rather than watering yourself down. You have systems that support your energy delivery and business growth, and a structure that reflects who you are now, not the past version of yourself. You have to allow yourself to grow and build skill and feel confident, keep taking steps and evolve over time with your business. The way that you can connect the metaphor of a business nervous system into what we're building here in BAA is that you have an identity core. That is your energetic clarity. We feel focused, confident. We're not reinventing ourselves. We understand what our messaging flow is, our marketing, communication, and expression. We're magnetic, consistent, and resonant. So this is something that I think that you have experienced before when people are like, "Oh my god, that just hits so deep." When you hit that vibe and you lean into that vibe, you end up creating a shareable brand, a brand where every word that followers hear from you is like, "Yes, yes, yes." It's like you're in my head. You're saying the things that I'm thinking. It feels so good to consume content like that. It's like you get to experience a version of yourself and you feel so seen by the creator that you are connecting to. Your back-end systems have automation, operations. There's an aspect of delivery that is handled. You're doing it for repeatability, scalability. That frees up your energy. Then you have your personal rhythms, your leadership style, how you plan ahead, your access to your energy. It feels regulated, spacious, and you trust your own pace. To finally wrap up is the reminder that the 4 pillars of business alignment that we're working on here directly connect to that internal stability and that regulation through your identity, your magic, your mission, and your system. Ultimately, that leads to the alignment effect. So we're in sync. Our business nervous system is regulated, and we have the system set up for repeatable aligned growth. That takes the pressure off. So we're building from thriving, not surviving. To wrap up here, I want to share a personal story because I have a big realization about how I have built my business nervous system or my, what would I call that? It's like a comfort zone. It's so important to know this about ourselves. And I would invite you to do a little homework and observe this in yourself. Do a little journaling sesh because I think it will reveal and expose a lot about your style. The way that I climbed the ladder in my career was through fear jumping. That's what I called it. Every single time person would offer me an opportunity, I would say yes to it. If I thought that it would propel my career, I would say yes to it. Even if I didn't want to do it, even if I knew nothing about it, even if it terrified me, even if as soon as I thought about doing the thing, my whole entire body would go into like freak panic mode because I'm actually an introverted person. I never felt very well spoken. The idea of presenting on stage or even teaching people was terrifying to me. That's why I was back of the house. I was, the creative behind the scenes for the majority of my career. But I've noticed now that I've come into intentional alignment that I wired my entire business nervous system or my entire nervous system around how I receive money as an entrepreneur around like fear jumping. It's also the way that I wrote my first book, that I was on television shows, that I opened the butcher shop, that I started the nonprofit. It's the way that I had every single conversation with people. It's the way that I did radio interviews. It's the way that I said yes to relationships that I shouldn't have been in. It's the way that I said yes to this business. It's the way that I said yes to clients that I shouldn't have been working with that taught me really deep, hard lessons because I have trained myself to learn and quantum leap through discomfort. I will say that if you are a professional athlete and you have to learn how to run a marathon, no part of that is going to be comfortable if you don't have the skills to run a marathon. A lot of that journey is going to be pushing yourself and working out and sore muscles and collapsing after, efforting. But if you don't know this about yourself, if you haven't paid attention to ask yourself, why is my system wired for like these ups and downs, these highs and lows, this marathon energy where I'm just like, I can push and I can push and I can push to get to the top of the mountain. I know that there is something in me that is going to turn on. There's like a savage in me that will come online, and it's going to get me through the edge of not having the skill. And while I'm in that period of time where I don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to build a skill. And so it's worth it. There is a way that we can grab onto that fantastic drive and also build simultaneously to thrive, to become an energetic source that is built for you from you. You don't have the same crash and burn cycle. You don't have the same pressure on yourself. You're not attacking your system so that it requires so much recovery, right? If we're using the athlete analogy, so many ice baths and down days and like all of the massages. We're not just like feeding into the maintenance of the push. I asked somebody on an insight call for this program. We've talked about this in the content that I did do my own homework. So you want to put a little vote of faith in for me. I do my own homework. So I asked, I said, what do you think the cost is of running the business or building the business the way that you've built it in this way that's like attacking your nervous system, your business nervous system? Even though maybe she wouldn't have used those words, what she understood it as is this constant reinvention, evolutionary rebuilding process, because what she had was the ability to push forward an idea, to push forward an inspiration. And I was deeply resonant. I was like, yep, been there. She said, I have spent so much money with acupuncturists. I have a team of people in my world that are helping me manage the physical symptoms of the way that I have been living. I think at the time I had never thought about it in that way. Like I had never had a conversation with somebody that had explained it in that way. I was like, oh my God, like I know so many people who are operating at a really, really high level in their business that require constant physical maintenance. This is why people who are high performers are always biohacking. This is why people who are spiritually high performers always have some kind of psychic, some shaman, somebody working on their energy. They've got a whole team of people around them helping them execute at these high levels. The same with like politicians, anybody, think about it. It's just different variations of this. And so if you really consider the cost of chasing your potential all the time, and you don't know why you're exhausted and fatigued and you feel unsupported or like you're riding a flaming roller coaster, the reason is because of this, because it actually takes a ton of energy to transform. It takes a ton of energy to transform. And as a soul first entrepreneur, your job is transformation. Isn't that what you're selling? Aren't you selling transformation for other people in some form? Isn't it required that you transform yourself as a way of living in order to step into the identity that's big enough to hold the vision that you dream of for your business? Doesn't that take a lot of work? It does for me. I know for the past 5 years, I've been collapsing time, like collapsing. 10 years is now 5 years. What took me 5 years is now 1 year. What took me 1 year is now 6 months. What used to take me 6 months is now 3 months. And so we're just like packing it in, packing it in, packing it in. Yet on the other side of that, we don't actually respect the amount of energy that takes. We're not celebrating the fact that we've gotten to the point where, oh my God, what used to take me 10 years now takes me 6 months. Holy shit, I'm a freaking superhero. You are amazing, right? We just keep pushing, keep creating. And so the way that Business Alignment Academy and the work in here helps you support is that it creates the environment where that quick paced creativity can be your juice instead of the thing that keeps dragging your pace. I want you to ask yourself, what is the style that feels the best to me? What feels the best in my business nervous system? There is a part of this homework that could be an edge for you, but as long as you know why you're leaning into it and you use it as an opportunity, you can deal with the wobble that happens when it's not successful the first 10 times, because it won't be. It'll take you a little while to get good at it. I'll see you in the academy, and thank you for being here.